what's good? What's happening, everybody? It's your boy Ferris Muthana, and welcome to another edition of LG. What? No, this is not reviews. This is our sports show. Sorry.
No.
To another edition of Good Friends, Better Rivals. I'm your boy Ferris, and we are talking previewing preseason week 2. We're previewing the game. It's at 4 o'clock. Giants versus Panthers, as well as the Cowboys play tomorrow, right, Caleb?
Yes, we do.
4 o'clock as well.
No, that's at 7 o'clock.
Okay. Thank you. 7 o'clock. Who are they against?
Who are we against? Let me check. No idea. We are
Caleb, man, you gotta
against
be ready, man. You gotta be ready.
yeah, the Seattle Seahawks.
Seattle Seahawks. All right, perfect. But before that, we're gonna talk about some training camp news and notes. First of all, let's talk about nothing really going on in Giants
Dak is
training
back.
camp. Dak is back.
Sorry.
Dak is back. Daniel Jones will be playing this week as well. And then we have a bunch of other smattering of people. The Giants are going to play some of their starters in week 2, trying to get them ramped up. The same thing with the Cowboys. Nowadays, due to the fact that we only have 3 preseason games now, Sean McVay started the trend by not playing the starters in the preseason the first couple of weeks. So people have been trying to get on that strategy. The first week of preseason, the starters don't play. And usually they play a little bit in the second game now, but then they usually play a lot in the third game to get them ramped up for the season. But the Cowboys have been ramped up in training camp after a couple of fracases, some skirmishes, a couple of some downnesses with the brawls. Let's take it through that, right, Caleb? A couple of fights happened, offensive lineman, defensive lineman. Caleb just left. I did see some of the fights. The first fight I saw was they were doing defensive line drills. Sam Williams was against an offensive lineman. The offensive lineman kind of like pushes Sam Mills kind of a little push, and then Sam hits him back. And then instead of having to let it go, center Tyler Biotish levels Sam Williams off of his feet. That was the first fight I saw. And then the second fight was Micah Parsons just throwing haymakers. So, Caleb, I know there's a lot of training camp fights. We tend to not take them seriously. But that's 2 in back. Was it the same day or back-to-back days?
No, it was on the same practice. Yeah, I mean, they just kind of got into it on the kind of drills of the offense and line defensive line type drills. At least for the first one was, and then the other one was, kind of more of a team. I think it's a team drill. But yeah, they got into it. I mean, offensive lineman just kind of blindsided the defender because they were kind of, pushing and shoving each other, and then you just see I think it was Biotish that just comes and
Biotish takes out.
So intense and yeah. But it's good. I mean, I like to see some fight in the Cowboys because going against the Niners in the past 2 seasons in the playoffs, we seem like we get bullied every year. So it's time. I mean, it's time to show that we're the bullies because that's what we've been doing. We're getting our ass kicked by Niners. We need some fight. We need some fighting us, some attitude in us, and so to me, I mean, it's a good thing.
How you doing?
It shows that it shows that we're willing to go up there and fight for our guys, and show that we can be the bullies as well. And then you see Dak coming over. Mike Parsons was pretty pissed at the moment, but you saw Dak coming over, seeing his leadership and saying, "No, like kind of get your shit together and let's go." Like kind of let's get over and let's get it. Let's get together and let's go forward. So that's great to see from Dak. I mean, Dak's always been that way. Dak's always been a great leader, and that moment right there showed why he is.
So yeah, but Caleb, it all happened on one day, but that blindside hit, do you think that was okay by Biotish? Like, I understand that you want to see some fight, but so Sam Williams and that offensive lineman, they did their little tussle, and they kind of then moved on. then you see just Biotish come out of nowhere, blindside him.
Well,
Do you think that's okay?
I mean, the defensive guy took the cheap shot first because the offensive lineman was walking away, and he kind of pushed him back when he wasn't looking. So that's what Biotish did to him, kind of hit him when he wasn't looking. So it was kind of payback. I mean, I don't think that was it was great or anything.
But I saw the offensive lineman, add a little oomph to that block at the end. You think that's why Sam Williams hit him?
Yeah. I mean, that's just normal stuff. I mean, that's what you do at practice. You do a little more, some here and there. It's not. I don't see it as a big deal.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. I think the oomph was okay, and Sam Williams hitting him back, that was fine. That's traditional training camp stuff, in my opinion. Like, that's okay. I've done that to my teammates. My teammates have done that to me. But I think the Biotish part, that part was a little extra. Just blindside.
Yeah.
Like, Sam Williams is still your teammate.
Yeah, I think it was just it's just kind of an offense defensive kind of thing, just sticking up for your fellow offensive lineman, getting that extra hit that he took, so he's going to give him an extra hit. It was a big. Did he have to go and blow him up like that? Yeah, but it happened. That kind of stuff happens like that. But I don't think it's anything too crazy or anything like that.
Shout out to the Rogue Pod. All right. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Anything that stood out to you other than the fights at training camp the past couple of days?
No, I mean, unless you want to talk about what happened in the game.
Let's talk about the game.
All right. Last weekend, Saturday, Jaguars Cowboys. I mean, the story of that game was Deuce Vaughn. I mean, you saw the highlights on social media. A lot of people talking about him. It's a big deal with a guy of his size to play as well as he did on Saturday. That's a big time showing for him. He was great. He was great. He was legit. I mean,
but I tell you,
carries, 50 yards in the touchdown. Had a huge run of 26 yards. Where he was just making all kinds of dudes miss. Like it was crazy.
What I
he was
tell
doing
you,
all types of jukes and spins.
What I tell you, man.
Yeah. Like I couldn't believe it. Like I mean, the biggest question is, can he hold up at his size? And to me, the way he was getting hit, I didn't really see that it was really affecting him that much. Like it was going to be a problem going forward. Like he
has a low center of gravity.
He has
a low center of gravity.
Honestly, I feel like he's going to get a lot of face mask calls because I saw a lot of the guys kind of hitting them up high because they can't get that low. So they're kind of grabbing around the helmet. I feel like it's kind of a plus because I think he might get a face mask or two during the season, and that's just good for us. So yeah, I mean, he looked good. He looked good.
Yeah, man. Bro, remember when I told you when y'all drafted him? What did I tell you when you drafted him, bro? I wanted him. This is the guy. I didn't want Eric Gray. I wanted Deuce. Because I remember watching him at Kansas State. He ran in between the tackles at Kansas State. He wasn't an outside runner. They ran between the tackles. And, Kansas State, it was with him was tremendous, man. He's also a good pass catcher, too. He's also a very good pass catcher.
Yeah, he made a hell of a catch where he just kind of jumped up and caught it. He was really good at that. So he's making all kinds of plays out there. He's making, guys look like he was getting in the backfield. He made like a move or two to get some positive yardage. And it's just crazy you just see him kind of go when he gets the ball, he kind of disappears behind all the what's going on, and then he kind of just reappears. It's just crazy like that, just because he's so small and you can't really see him. I think that's going to be a big advantage for us if we can have him doing and making plays like that, plus Tony Pollard. I mean that's a great duo right there, running the ball for us. So very, very, very excited to see, especially, I mean, obviously want to see that do it again. Hopefully they give him some starting snaps in this game coming up. So that's what I definitely want to see from him. And then for the receiving side, John Stevens, this tight end just coming out of nowhere and had no idea who he was. They started talking about him in first day of training camp. You heard his name. And then he just starts making plays in this game as well. He was the leading receiver, 5 receptions, 56 yards, and a touchdown. he looked excellent. As well. I mean, we got a lot of tight ends here. Schoonmaker, Ferguson, Hendershot.
Right.
It's like if he can make the team, man. Kind of worried about Hendershot's job a little bit. He might be the guy to be squeezed down that room because you're not getting rid of the second round pick and Schoonmaker and Ferguson pretty much got that top spot locked down. At least for the start of the season. So I mean, if Stevens just keeps playing like this, I mean, Hendershot might be the guy. Maybe if he can make practice squad or something. I mean, that's going to be a great battle to see. And Tolbert definitely improving. He's definitely made a huge improvement from last year, at least in the first game. He was making he had a nice game, had a touchdown, and he had a great catch in practice the other day, where he just kind of caught the ball and just kind of stuck, where his 2 feet just kind of stuck there, and then it was for a touchdown. So yeah, Tolbert definitely looks way from what he was looking last year, and then Turpin kind of had a bad fumble. He had a bad fumble on kick return. That was pretty bad. It's going to be rough for him because Ken Vaughn also returned punts. I don't know if he did that in college or not. If Vaughn didn't even return,
he didn't really.
But if
I don't remember him doing that. Yeah, he never really did that.
But if Vaughn could do that, then I don't see why we have to have Turpin. I mean, Turpin was an All-Pro Bowl guy, returning the ball for us. But if he had a fumbling problem last year. He already fumbled in the first game this year. I don't know if we can really afford to keep him if he continues to do that. And then on defensive side, Overshown, man, this guy was awesome. I mean, he was as good as he was in college, man. 6 tackles. He twice prevented a first down. It was like third down, and he just stuck him and prevented him from getting the first down. He was great. And then DeMone Clark continued to look at building off last year. He looks great. And then Wanye Thomas just coming out of nowhere, making a big pick off of Trevor Lawrence. That first defense, I mean, our second team defense, because we didn't have any starters in the game. Our second team defense against the Jaguars starting offense looked really good. I mean, they were stopping them. They had turned the ball over on the interception. They had them 3-and-out the next possession. The only reason why they scored was because Turpin fumbled and they got him a short field. But other than the first 2 possessions, the second team defense was just stopping the Jaguars starting offense. So really excited for the depth that we have on defense. They looked really good there. And yeah, Will Greer had some up and down plays, and then Cooper Rush couldn't really get going because of the offensive line, but he still had a pretty decent game. But yeah, that's pretty much what it was for the that game. But yeah, you want to go into Zach Martin's contract?
Yeah, Zach Martin wins the negotiation. He beats Jerry Jones, and again, people like they say, man. Zach wins. Caleb, what are your thoughts on it? He's now is he now the highest paid guard in the NFL?
No, he's not. He is the third. He's third behind
he just won a little
Nelson.
So he just wanted a little bit more money.
A little more money yet. And seeing where he was in place, he was like 8th in guards. Yeah, so yeah, he wanted to at least be in the realm of the top guards in the league because that's how he plays. He plays like best guard in the league. So he felt like he needed to get paid like that. And that's fair. That's fair. He should feel like that. And then after that game, after the last Saturday game, how bad the depth was at guard, seeing how bad they were, we were like, yeah, you probably need to get the Zach Martin signed because we're not looking really good at that position. So very happy we got it done. Very happy to have him back.
NFL 2022, the Emmitt Smith situation back in the 90s. You guys start 0-2, and then we got his contract right after that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just happy we got him back in the building. He went right there practicing. I mean, just building that cohesion we need on the offensive line. protect Dak. So like you said, it wasn't about him being the best. It just looked like he was about him being underpaid. Was the biggest issue that he had. And he was willing to sit out for it. He was willing to sit out for however long till he felt like they were going to pay him. And the Cowboys, obviously saw, yeah, we really need this guy, so let's sign him and get him back. And it seems like a fair deal because he's not the top guard, so you're not paying. It's not like he's resetting the market or anything. You're just paying him a little more signing bonus. A little more on his he's basically revised his 2-year contract to give him a little more money there. So yeah, he's definitely I think he's gonna get right back to doing what he does, and he's gonna be great like he always is.
Will McClay for the win once again, right, Caleb?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that guy just knows how to bring in good offensive linemen, good players overall. I mean, and I think he's shown that with a lot of our offensive line that we have now. So, yeah, great news for us.
Will McClay, man, one of the unsung heroes in the NFL. Someone that, if I was a team, I'd try to pry him away from Jerry. I don't know how much money will take, but I'll try to at least sniff around and ask. Hey, well, I'll just ask around.
I'm pretty sure Jerry. Obviously, we don't know the numbers, but I'm pretty sure he probably pays him like a GM.
Probably
like one of the top
he just doesn't have the title,
even though he doesn't have the title of GM. He probably gets paid like one though.
Yeah, because Steven and Jerry are GM and president, and those are kind of like, honorary titles if you think about it, because Will does most of the legwork. If that's what I'm gleaming from it.
Yeah, Jerry's like the final decision maker. Steven's more the cap guy, and Will McClay's the personnel guy.
Mm-hmm. All right, yeah. Any other news kept coming from that game? Like someone that you weren't expecting happen?
No. Like I said, the biggest surprise is just seeing that these rookies actually make a big impact with Overshown and Deuce Vaughn. We didn't see too much from the top 2 picks, and I guess we'll get into it when we preview this next game. What I want to see from them, but yeah, I guess you want to go with the Giants before we preview the games.
Yeah. So the Giants, so none of the starters really played. The only starters that may have played were the receivers because they needed to, see in that crowded receiver room. I saw Jalen Hyatt, I saw Isaiah Hodgins, I saw Colin Johnson. I don't know if I think Darius Slayton was in for like a series, but I don't really notice him. But really, the offense was unnoticeable because we didn't have Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley in the lineup. It was kind of a depth game, and I am not happy for our depth because our offensive line depth is not doing good. And in training camp, they're doing a lot of guard rotations. It was Bredesen, Azudu, Bredesen, Glowinski, Azudu, Glowinski, Bredesen. So they're rotating those dudes to see who's going to become our 2 guards. And, it's a fight to the death basically with these 4 dudes. And all, the offensive line in the game really was kind of like uninspired. And the running backs that we got to back up Saquon Barkley, I really wasn't impressed at all. James Robinson has come off of his ACL injury. He's kind of lost a step a little. Eric Gray, he was, I know he played in the game, but he didn't really do anything. I wasn't.
You have the starting line in there?
No, the starting line was not in there. Okay? So yeah, it was mostly backup. It was mostly but the Lions didn't start their starting defense either. So it was backups against backups. Except they did start a couple of starters. I think they started like 1 or 2, but overall the starters were gone by the like the first quarter. That's that's not what I talk about. It's like it's the most of the starters are gone by halftime. And I think this game, most of the starters were gone by the second quarter. So the second half, I wasn't really impressed. But Caleb, just like you guys, there is a tight end emerging that could take someone's job. Tommy Sweeney, he's fighting for that tight end 3 position because we definitely know who tight end 1 and 2 is. Darren Waller and Daniel Bellinger. Like I said, if y'all don't remember last year, I said the team kind of changed when Daniel Bellinger got injured. The team kind of changed because he kind of helped things. And the tight ends and the H backs that I know is going to be on this team it's going to be him, Darren Waller, and Chris Myrick. Because the reason Chris Myrick is going to be on this team is because Chris Myrick also plays H back, which is basically fullback. So he plays that position as well. So he's definitely going to make the team. So it's between Lawrence Cager and Tommy Sweeney for tight end 3. That's the battle I'm going to be watching. Lawrence Cager, former wide receiver, now a tight end. He needs to he has receiving ability, but tight end, you got to be a little bit more physical. You got to block a little. You got to chip. You got to hit. Got to be a little grimy and dirty on the inside, and then you can be a tight end, receiving tight end. And Tommy Sweeney's that's what he is. Tommy Sweeney also has ties to Buffalo, like Brian Daboll. He's a part of Brian Daboll's Buffalo offenses. So Tommy Sweeney has the leg up on the offense as well. But so does Lawrence Cager because he's also a year in the system. So they're both similar within the system of knowing the scheme. So it's going to be a fight for that tight end 3 spot. So that's the battle I'm watching. The receivers, no one really popped to me. Jalen Hyatt and all the dudes, they didn't really do anything. But I think that was probably due that they had Tyrod Taylor and Tommy DeVito throwing him the ball, and so like you couldn't really judge them. So now this week I'm gonna judge them because they have Daniel Jones in the game. So Daniel Jones will be the quarterback. So let's see if some people catch the ball. But mainly it's the defense, and the two defenders I'm looking at are two rookie starting corners. Deontay Banks and Trey Hawkins III. They played very well. There was a one time where Jameson Williams was, someone said he beat Deontay Banks, but I don't think he did because Deontay Banks was running with him stride for stride, and then he was slightly a little behind him, but he was right there, and then Jameson Williams couldn't catch the ball. Could it be because he should have caught the ball and it was a lack of concentration? Could it be that he was too busy worried that Deontay Banks was right on his heels? And he dropped the ball? It could be, but Deontay Banks he wasn't burned on any occasion because Deontay Banks has, I believe, speed to recover. And he just needs to learn more, opening up his hips, and I think he can do that. Marvin Harrison Jr.'s worst game last year in college was against Maryland because Deontay Banks was there. So I have, people talk about Marvin Harrison Jr. like he's the next unicorn. He's the next, he's the resurrection of Christ. So having Deontay Banks know that he has that in his back pocket, that I kind of slowed down Marvin Harrison Jr. because you can't slow down these receivers nowadays. You can't stop them. You have to slow them down. Because every rule is in their favor. They get everything. You breathe on them. Mitigating their impact is kind of stopping them nowadays. So Deontay Banks looked good. I like what Trey Hawkins did. Dane Belton is having a very great training camp in a couple of games. Same with Jason Pinnock, our two safeties who are fighting for the safety spot. So like now it's definitely a battle because Dane Belton had a one hand strips fumble, forced fumble where he just strips it with his one hand or covers it. Jason Pinnock had an interception like 5 minutes into the game. Dane Belton had an interception in training camp. And then Dane Belton had an interception in the game. So him and Jason Pinnock are having very good training camps lately. So I'm watching that battle. And then the linebacking core, it's a fight to who's going to be Bobby Okereke's running mate. Micah McFadden. I said when I was on lunch break hot take earlier this week, Micah McFadden is kind of like the runner up because he's fighting against Jared Davis and in a post ACL surgery Darren Beavers. So he's fully healthy. He's 1 year in the scheme, and he knows how to operate. So he kind of has the upper leg, in my opinion. So there's that. And then the defensive line really, I wasn't really. Wasn't kind of non-existent because Kayvon Thibodeau didn't play. Azeez Ojulari wasn't playing. Dexter Lawrence wasn't playing. Leonard Williams wasn't playing. Ashawn Robinson is still on the PUP list. Nacho's injured because of the car accident he suffered. He's in the concussion protocol. And then and we really didn't see much, really, honestly. So there's that. Eric Gray was drafted. He didn't really impress me much. But I'm gonna be watching Javarius Owens. I'm see if he's a good special team player. If he can fit in our special teams. So there's that. But more of all, where's Mark? I'm also someone I'm really worried about his injury is where's Marcus McCaffin? He was another one of our players who tore their ACL last year. Same thing with DJ Davison. He was our defensive tackle. So him, Darian Beavers, and DJ Marcus McCaffin, being him, they all tore their ACL. They're still getting up to speed, but Marcus McCaffin and Josh Azudu, both North Carolina offensive linemen, they're both massive human beings, man. They're both 6'6". I think they both played tackle in college, and then now they're no. I think Azudu was a guard and Marcus was a tackle, and now they're both trying to play guard. And there's another. I don't know if our depth is really there because I don't know if Marcus McCaffrey is going to be in the mix. And I want to see more of him as well. But we'll see in this next game because the starters didn't really play last 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 week. So there's that. So this is the game is going to be really all about what are the starters going to do. So I'm kind of like waiting for them to ball out basically with Daniel Jones. I think we're going to see some Saquon Barkley, but Daniel Jones is going to be key because he has to whittle down the receivers. Cole Beasley showed up. Cole Beasley being a solid slot option, but I think he's just going to be there as kind of like a veteran presence in the locker room. If you agree with him on a personal level, that's up to you. But on a football level, he's definitely one of the best slot receivers in the game. He was for many years. He did it in Dallas. He did it in Buffalo. And I think just more football wise, I'm kind of happy that he's in the building, in the room. But I need the youngsters to beat him because he's a little older. So I need Jalen Hyatt, Colin Johnson. If they want jobs, they need to make sure Cole Beasley doesn't beat them. And Colin Johnson, I feel so sorry for him because last year he was going to be Isaiah Hodgins. I feel like he was going to be in the Isaiah Hodgins role. He then tore his Achilles. It was kind of a blow. He got injured in the Detroit game, his knee, and then they held him out. I don't know how serious the injury is. So I'm just really kind of sad for Colin Johnson overall. But that's pretty much all I'm really at. I'm not, you can't. It was week 1 preseason. I didn't really get much from anybody because we didn't have any of our starters. Tyrod Taylor was a quarterback, so the receivers didn't really show out. So unfortunately, that's what happens. But got to keep it moving, right? Yeah, Tyrod. Tommy DeVito, shout out to you, the Italian stallion. But we got to keep it moving. So coming up this week, we're against the Panthers, and you're against the Seahawks. Caleb, what are you trying to look for the Cowboys coming off of week 1 in the preseason and going into the Seahawks game? Who are you watching?
I'm watching Mark McCarthy calling plays. Obviously, it's the first year he's going to call play with Dallas Cowboys. He was calling plays in the first game, and what I saw was a lot of short, quick throws in this West Coast offense that he's running. I saw a lot of Cooper Rush, which is that's why he was 8-12, very high accuracy. And the balls he was throwing because it's kind of like he's quick to just get it out of his hands and get to the receiver. So I saw a lot of those type of routes where we were just kind of just dumping off to the side more than we were in previous years under Kellen Moore. Kind of just throwing in and kind of getting to Semi Fehoko and he would just catch in, make a first down. A lot. So yeah, I'm just interested to see a lot more of that. Those type of routes. That get the receiver open, unlike Kellen Moore was doing. So definitely watching out for that. And then also just Deuce Vaughn. I hope he gets some snaps with the starters if we're playing. These starting offensive line. Not sure if we are because I know Dak is not going to play any of the preseason games. But if the offensive line is out there starting, I hope that Deuce Vaughn can get the snap so you can see him out there against our starting defense. I'm not sure if the Seahawks will be playing. Well, hopefully they are, and so I can see Deuce Vaughn against better opponents. And then as far as the defense goes, obviously offensive line. I also want to see them together with Zach Martin to at least a few snaps. But the one guy I didn't see on offense was Michael Gallup, and I wanted see Mike Gal how he is after all the injuries he's had last season. What does he look like? Because I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Michael Gallup looks like. So I can go see him catch a few balls out there, just to make come from me and saying that okay, this guy is okay. Because I'm not sure right now. I'm not actually sure what he's going to look like for the season. So hopefully I can see him out there. And like I said, the defense, Marquise Bell led the team in tackles in the last game. He's continued to progress in his play because it's a pretty stacked safety room with the guys that he has in front of him. But if he continues to make play like he did last week, then he's got a spot on this team. And then, like I said, the starter, the first round pick in Mozzie Smith, you didn't see too much from him. He's still kind of getting it together. So hopefully we can see a little bit more from him in this game. Just a little more moves, a little more activity than he was doing last game. He played a lot. I think he's going to play a lot in this game. So I definitely will get a good sample size of what he can do in this game. And then, what Rashawn can show out again. This guy will make himself. It's going to be a great linebacking core if Rashawn is that guy on the defense, going along with Damone Clark and Lane Vander Esch. I mean that's a great core right there. And it's the pass rushers, just getting in there. I didn't see too much of Fehoko at the end or defensive tackle. So if I can see a little more of him, because I didn't really notice him in the last game, Dream played. So if we can see a little more out of him in this game, that's what I'll be keeping an eye out for.
Yeah, for the Giants and the Panthers, I'm really watching. The receivers with Daniel Jones, how they operate, what's their chemistry like, how they've been doing. Can they translate that from training camp to a game simulation? Is what I like to call preseason. Is game simulation, crowd, refs, a team that's trying to take your head off. So that's going to be something I'm going to watch. And then our linebacker and cornerbacks and safeties. That's what I'm going to watch. I feel like the defensive line is gonna be what it is this year. Because like I said when I was on LBHT, there's going to be a lot of times where the defensive linemen they're just trying to create havoc, trying to collapse an offense because Wink Martindale likes to blitz, right? And the blitzer should be the one getting the sack. So you're not going to see a lot of sacks from the defensive linemen, or because it doesn't happen all the time. So because you send a blitz because you want the blitzer to get the shot. That's why we have Jihad Ward on the team. He's very good at controlling the gap and stuffing the run. So I'm a big fan of Jihad Ward. But yeah, it's been pretty quiet training camp for Kayvon Thibodeau. He's been pretty quiet, but I think it's because he's just kind of ramping it up, and I think he's a gamer. He's a gamer. When he shows up is when I need to show him up in the game. There's a lot of people where they take practice. They use practice as a time to practice. So they practice stuff, and they don't really, give you 110%, but because they're practicing. And then when it's game time, it's time to game. They go all out. They ball out, and that's what I think Kayvon Thibodeau is. So I think the offensive line, I'm kind of the defensive line, I'm because Ashawn is injured, still on the pup list. Nacho, like I said, he has a concussion. I don't know. I need to double check if he's off the protocol or is he still in it. So we'll see because of the car accident he was in. So that our two depth pieces are pretty good. And I'm really seeing if Deontay Banks and Trey Hawkins can build off of week one because it's looking like it's gonna. If everything goes right their way, they could be the starters going into the season with Adoree Jackson. It could be two corners that are rookies with Adoree Jackson starting. We may run three corners. We may run nickel, probably. So it's mostly nickel. Most of the time, people are doing that anyway. So there's that.
Yeah.
So two rookie corners, kind of just throw him into the fire. Like let's ball out man to man because Wink Martindale likes to blitz a lot, so it's a lot of man to man, right? So it's bump and run. Sometimes you may not have help over the top. So there's that. So I'm looking at them. Yeah, that's pretty much it, really. It's the chemistry between QB and receivers with Daniel Jones and, Jalen Hyatt. If he can reignite his chemistry with Colin Johnson, if he plays, if the injury's not severe. Let's see how well does he, communicate with Cole Beasley. Isaiah Hodgins and Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton, they already know a lot with Daniel Jones. Colin Johnson had a couple of preseason games with him, but not no regular season, down, ready to toughen out games like Isaiah Hodgins did. So there's that. I'm not really worried about running back because Saquon Barkley is that dude. But I am worried about the depth behind him.
He gets hurt a lot too.
We got hurt once.
He got hurt twice.
Once.
It was 2 seasons in a row he was hurt.
No, it's because they didn't bring him back because they shut him down. He wasn't hurt. They shut him down as a precautionary measure because the season was already gone to shit.
But he came back. Hurt.
Well, yeah, but it was a nick and a bruise. All right. Okay. It's not. Don't pull that injury prone shit on my star player. Look at your quarterback. He's always hurt.
He was hurt once.
Okay, he was hurt. He was hurt back-to-back years.
1.5 times.
No, now it's 1.5 times, huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
He just had a little thumb.
Interesting. I tell your quarterback to stop getting hurt. Tell your quarterback to protect himself more. Keep your head on the swivel.
Well, if your fat ass guy didn't lay on top of him, he wouldn't have broke his goddamn ankle.
Why didn't you slide? You should have slided so he doesn't touch you. Your fault you didn't slide. I can do this all day. I can do this all day. To this day. I shouted Deontay Wilder. But yeah, it's pretty much that's pretty much what I'm looking at. The 2 rookie corners. I'm looking at Cordell Flott still. Cordell Flott, man. I'm not gonna be. Thank you, Adelia. How can you be hurt 1.5 times? Either you're hurt or you're not.
A little thumb. It was like a half injury. It was a little thumb.
I ain't a little thumb. He missed like 8 games.
You missed 5 games, jackass.
5 games. Still got hurt.
Like a half.
Still got hurt.
Like a half injury.
No, it's not a half injury. That's 5 games, bro. That's more than a quarter of the season.
Missed the rest of the season. Twice.
Because we were 2-14.
So
we were pretty bad. So why play him? Yeah, man, 5-game injury is not a half injury, Caleb. It's not a half injury.
It wasn't season ending. It wasn't season ending. It was my point.
Saquon Barkley's wasn't season ending.
He did well. It ended the season, so it was season ending.
Because it was as precautionary measure, but it wasn't season ending. Yeah, see, Brodney, Dak misses 5 games without being injured. Yikes! Exactly.
He just had a little thumb. He was a little thumb thing. He just had a little thumb.
Brodney, that's who you want leading your team. Mm-hmm. Damn shame. You're making your quarterback look like a deserter.
He wasn't a deserter. He just had a little thumb thing.
A little thumb thing.
Get it right. Get that thumb
right. Yeah. So Adelia says, so by your definition, then Caleb, only season-ending injuries is an injury.
No, but I was just making the point that Saquon Barkley gets hurt a lot.
Yeah, and I made the point your quarterback gets hurt a lot too. So
nah, he's good.
Yeah, get out of here. See, there he is. Cowboys fans not listening to the logic. I can't wait to see you guys all cry at the end and all the memes again. So, but on that note,
pretty much we don't listen to logic. You guys are the dumbest fan base according to the gambling site. You guys are the stupidest fans.
No, what is that metric? What do they base that on?
I don't know.
What do they base that on?
Horrible. They just don't.
What do they base that on? I don't
just
understand what
looking
that
at
basis is.
you. Just
what was the
you
criteria?
You just know
what was the criteria? I can make a list. I can make a list. We all can make lists. What's the criteria of this list? They just made a list. What did you base it on? They're not going to tell us because they're stupid. They're stupid. I can make a list of dumb fans.
Of the Giants fan. It's just they were the dumbest.
What's the criteria of dumb? What are we basing it off of?
I don't know. Maybe they all took an IQ test. Who knows?
The IQ, y'all are stupid. Y'all think you're gonna win the Super Bowl every year. That's stupid.
Well, that's some of us.
Yeah, that's most of y'all. Anytime y'all make the playoffs, y'all think y'all gonna win everything. And they're just losing to the Niners.
That's true.
All right, this is how we gonna end the show. You yelling at you because you're an idiot. Where can people find you?
Find me at NFLCave22 on Instagram and Twitter, or X or whatever you want to call it. And then you can find me on this channel on Wednesdays at 8:00, doing betting the NFL. What we do on that show is try to make you guys money, and that's what we're gonna do this Wednesday. LDHG crew will be on there. This Wednesday, we're doing the NFC South and the AFC North. So definitely tune in for that one. It's going to be a great show. And we're going to win you guys money. So tune in.
All right, guys. I'm Ferris Muthana. You can call me at Ferris Muthana on X, I guess, X or Twitter, whatever that shit's called nowadays. You can find me at the_Ferris_Muthana on Instagram. I'm going to start using Instagram a little bit more, maybe, when I figure it out again. You find me here every Friday, 3:00. Good Friends, Better Rivals, 3:00 Pacific, as well as 8:00 Pacific. Open Table. Today, me and Adelia will be talking to our homies, Andres and Jen, about how they found love. What's it like moving to the East Coast for Andres, and being a secret agent is what Jen Kemp is. That's what she is. She's a secret agent. But on that note, everyone, thank you guys so much for joining us. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Stay safe. And we'll see y'all next time.